Borada. So I'm here and it's high tide. It's so gentle. It's such a gentle water, moony blessing and sun blessing. And I'm here doing a little recording about the orange ray, the colour orange, working with orange in colour therapy and crystal therapy. This is my orange calcite heart that's part of my chakra set, my star flower set that I work with earth healing and group work. And orange, okay, is the colour, the blend of red and yellow. So it has that, the blend of the red that brings in the feelings of safety, being grounded, but has the joyfulness, the expansiveness of the yellow, the sunny joyfulness of the yellow. Obviously, if you're working with the orange ray, you've got from the deepest reddy oranges right up to the light-filled peaches, and they're going to be really different how they work, from being really quite physical and sensual to really the highest ray of peach is compassion. So yeah, that's something to bear in mind. I mean, every colour ray has such a wide spectrum of how you can work with it, and but today I'm focusing on the orange calcite. So we use this kind of orange for vitality, creativity. It has an energy of sexuality, desire. It brings you very much in tune with intuitive, a deep body intuition. You know the way animals have a kind of animal instinct, and they are very aware of the world around them. They're in tune, not from a brain head intelligence, from a deep body intelligence. Oh my goodness, a little mouse just ran past me as I said that. That was amazing. I've never seen a mouse down here. There you go, there's a little blessing for you. Wow. And we were here last night, just to digress, we were here last night singing and a seal came up. It was amazing. Anyway, instinctive intelligence. Well, mouse medicine, as a mouse just ran past, mouse medicine in Native American culture is to do with the details, really the specifics, the details. And I've really taken my time working with the orange calcite and to bring you the orange ray, because it just seemed to ask me to do that. It seems like it's such a helpful ray at this time, because when we suffer from fear, grief, shock, trauma, we're frozen in shock and horror, one of the rays that can really help us is the orange ray, because it can help just soften and get things moving, help us find a creativity, of creative ways of moving forward. So, I mean, it's so hard to know what's going to happen, how we're going to deal with things, how we're going to move forward. But I found if I stayed with this beautiful orange ray, there's a creativity that comes with it, a way of helping us find new ways, birth new ways. Oh, I've just seen the little creature again. It's just run into the... I tell you what, obviously it's in the little details, inspiring us. So yes, when emotions can't flow, when we're so frightened that we freeze, I suppose that mice do that, don't they? They kind of just freeze, and they're sort of, they don't know which way to go, which way to run. This warmth, this joyfulness, the solidness of the grounded red in it, and the joyfulness of the yellow, and the intellectual stimulation, in that joy helps us move forward. I find if you have the blessing of an amazing sunset or sunrise, it feels like the day is going to be really special, or the letting go of the day before is like a real celebration. And those deep oranges, those deep warm colours are within those sunsets and sunrises. And I remember doing a sunrise ceremony led by a Native American medicine woman down in South Wales, believe it or not, in Swansea. And she talked about if you have those colours in the sky and they come through, that it's a good sign, it's a good blessing. And I think with us facing many endings and many new beginnings, there's a clue in that those warm colours can help us stay body present, stay in our instincts, give us the creative urge to find ways to move through this, to keep us alive, to keep us hopeful, to keep us joyful, to cope with the grief and the shock, to cope with the fear. So orange is really, really good colour if you... So fear quite often sits on your kidneys, around that area, and I found this week, I've particularly found there's all sorts of anxiety just kind of sitting on my kidneys, and this has really helped. It's like it gets in there and it kind of washes it away. Sometimes when you do clearing and cleansing and old patterns and things move away, it can bring stuff up for you. So, and then it moves forward and you feel better. And again, as we face change and movement, the new patterns coming in, we do face things of our stuff coming up. But if we keep them moving, keep them being creative with them, keep finding ways to move it on, be present, it can help with the process. So, I mean, Orange Calcite helps you to be inspired, to be creative, so maybe to dance, to move, to draw, to find things. I mean, I've been using it with the children to find different ways of doing the education with them, to find ideas, and it kind of helps you to go with the flow more. So instead of like before, we've had to do what we were to do. We got up, we did this, we did that. I know there are many people who are still being key workers and out there and doing and working in a different way. And for them, this crystal can help you to stay in your body, stay present, and help with the fear, the anxiety, the to move out and move forward and be in the world. For those of us who are in deep retreat, it can give us the energy and the inspiration to do things a little differently, to find a different flow, because there isn't the flow that we had, there isn't the structure we had. Sorry, I just have to say, seas creeping up really high. So this kind of, I mean, it's given me a way of stop trying to get the kids to do something and to see what flows with them, what works each day, and kind of softening with that, finding a different flow. Yes, so physically, I'm just checking my shoes aren't going in the water. Physically, the orange ray is associated with the lower belly, the lower back, all the fluid functions of the body, the ovaries, the womb, the testes, all that area, and can really help move energy there. The balance colours to the orange ray is the blue. In the colour spectrum, blue is the balance colour. And when I talk about the blue ray, I'll talk more about how that works, but that cools everything down and I guess helps communication. And, you know, if you get it all gets a bit hot and deeply instinctive, and maybe that cools that down. I particularly like soft greens as well with oranges. I find it brings that into nature for me, and balance, and because the heart area, your heart energy, your love, which is what's so needed now, which is what's always needed, needs this instinctive steadiness, this solidness, this being present in order to love. If you haven't got that being in the body, being really in the world, then it's harder to love, because it doesn't feel safe, your heart can't open. So this beautiful deep orange, deep steadiness, deep creativity helps you be able to find what you love and find where your flow wants to go. Sorry. So also in your belly you find a place which, if you have studied martial arts, I'm still not quite sure if my other shoe is in the sea. Oh, it's behind me. If you've studied martial arts or Tai Chi or any of those disciplines, you will be aware that there is a point couple of centimetres lower than your belly button, called the Tantien, the Hara Center. And this is where you are encouraged to be centered. It's the center of gravity of your body. It's the place where you have to be fully present, and the energy flows in a loop down through the legs and into the earth and back again, and then from there up into the upper part of the body. If you haven't got presence in the Tantien, then you're likely to be unsafe in the world. So this area is, I mean, there's so much wisdom and knowledge to be shared on the Tantien, the Hara Center. You know, if you are feeling like you're vulnerable, or you want to sort of steady your energy, putting your hands over your lower belly helps kind of hold the energy there, be steady there. Helps you to really be in the here and now and be present in your body. So I'm not going to obviously teach you about the Tantien, but it's like it's again reinforcing that this area is a point of balance in you, and that deep orange ray, when it's flowing and it's abundant within you, you are in the now, you are creative, you can go with the flow. There is, those of you who are aware of the Tao, the flow, there is a flow in life. There is a flow that animals and nature and Gaia, the world, is kind of part of, and humanity has, for the most part, has, sorry to spit a bit, has come out of that flow and is trying to re-find its place in it. So this orange ray can help you, help us all find our place in the flow, within the Tao. Because when we're in the flow of life, when we're in our own flow, the flows of our body, flows of our family, the flows in nature, then things kind of find their way. And I think that that is one of the things that will help us in this time of change. Because if we freeze or get lost in our fear, we either go really unconscious, really tired. I know I've just wanted to sleep, but I can't because I've got to keep everything moving for the family. I can't hide from it. So being present, being in nature, finding that vitality, that will to live, that joy of life, rather than getting lost in the fear and the anxiety is, so orange can help you do that. It's very orange is related to the water flows, the water functions, hence why I'm sitting by the by the sea, by the high tide. And a little, I told you that calcite are the crystals that I have chosen to collect and work with as on a group level and as a earth healing level. So calcite forms as a crystal very much through water processes, and from and again, that's a whole subject, a science subject, and I'm not very eloquent at it, but I know that some calcites form from the sea sort of from the living organisms that have died and passed away, and they've formed in shells and things, the surface of shells. Limestone caves, the stalactites and stalagmites tend to be made of calcite. So for me, in my limited scientific language, I understand calcite to be a watery crystal. It's associated and is created through the medium of water. So an orange calcite, not only is it flowing with my own deep belly, deep water, emotional, intuitive, deep sensual nature, playful nature, joyful nature, it is also physically formed that way. The earth gives birth to calcite that way. So maybe cleansing calcites through water is a lovely way, because again, it's going to be an added relationship with the flowing, cleansing nature of water. So not that we can get to places in the way we could before, but when we can, rinsing our crystals in free-flowing rivers and waters is a beautiful way of cleansing them. All the little creatures that are hopping away from the tide coming in are all hopping on me. Yes, so the other thing about calcite is, and the other thing about crystals is, we work with them in terms of their colour, work with them in terms of their structure, and so this is a trigonal structure, so sitting in a pattern of 3 calcites or any trigonal crystal, it kind of amplifies the internal structure of it. Yeah, so it's a very stable structure, it's a very steady structure. So it's steady, it's born through the water element, and it's another thing that we use with crystal therapy is, or we work with, is crystals are recorded. I don't think that's not the right word. They're measured to do with their hardness. There's a scale called the Mohs scale. I might not be saying that quite right, but it's, yeah, so something like diamond is one of the hardest crystals. My toes just reached the water. One of the hardest crystals that you, I mean, you can cut and use it as a tool, can't you, for cutting diamond, and it's so focused and so precise. So calcite is very soft on the Mohs scale. It's only a 3, so I guess that's probably why I like it and why I get on with it, because when I get really precise and really focused, sometimes, oh, you see that? I do try to work in that way, but I'm more naturally a softer person. I like to be gentle, I like to be softer, because I find that I achieve more somehow, as obviously the way I'm made. Not that I think it's better than any other way, it's just the way, finding your own flow. So I might have been a little bit silly with this, but I think maybe the Orange Ray quite likes a bit of laughter, a bit of playfulness. So is there anything that I haven't said about the Orange Ray? I love it. I've always loved it. I always found orange calcite one of the most uplifting, playful and joyful crystals. So I hope that this little bit of information helps you find your creative flow, your personal flow, your playful sunset and sunrise in this pilgrimage, in this time of change. And I hope it just made you smile a little bit on this very high tide that the beach is kneeling on, and my bottom might get a little bit wet. So thank you for listening to me. Bye bye.